Welcome to episode 78 of Central Intelligence Cinema. Today we are back with a brand new intel report for you with CIC mail, intel, and some news that quite frankly has got us both a bit verklempt. But without further ado, take it away, Pierce.
Beg your pardon, forgot to knock.
Welcome to the CIC, initiating security clearance.
My name is Napoleon Solo. Bond. James Bond.
Natasha Romanoff.
Ethan Hunt.
Felix Leiter.
Elsa Faust. Identity confirmed.
Now, pay attention, 007.
Welcome to Central Intelligence Cinema, a podcast dedicated to spy movies and secret agent pop culture.
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
You expect me to talk?
I'm in the middle of an interrogation. This moron is giving me everything.
Yeah, baby!
Special agent, you're not having a very special day, are you?
But remember, nothing ever goes according to plan.
Tom, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British hand up, sir. The state will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Recording for the very last time from an undisclosed location, it's a Central Intelligence Cinema podcast. I'm Jason Greenberg, and with me, as always, Ben Esslinger.
Thank you, Jason. And welcome back to the CIC, the spy movie podcast that is feeling a bit sentimental, if I'm being honest.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, this is the last time that the CIC will be recording from this undisclosed location.
Just a little fooly on you.
See what we did there? But it is a little bit sentimental because, we had a bit of a security breach.
It's a wee one.
And, Blofeld's onto us at the moment. We've been tracked. And so going forward, we will be having to broadcast from 2. That's right. You're going to get two undisclosed locations for 1.
That way, if one gets compromised, the other one will still be intact.
Indeed. So kind of a bittersweet day, but I'm happy you're here I'm a little verklempt. I'm going to try and hold it together. I'll give you a topic. But I'm glad we get one last little shebang-a-bang here at the undisclosed location before Blofeld and his men approach and try and take over here. But yeah.
But fear not.
We are not going, I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere a ways away. But for good reasons, because money is a thing that people need. And so we've got one more shebang-a-bang, and we're just going to, talk about some intel. We're going to talk about some, the CIC mailbag. We got another piece of mail there, and it's just kind of nice to, before I shovel off to a different undisclosed location, that we get to talk one more time.
One more time in person.
One more time. That is one thing I should mention. And that is a point of pride for me.
And me.
As a podcaster, that I feel like we are one of the few, well, at least from a spy movie podcast point of view,
sure,
we're probably maybe one of the only spy movie podcasts that have been broadcasting in one location, like opposite each other.
Right. Radio Morning Zoo style.
That's right. With the exception of 2020 when we first got started and the pandemic hit.
There was a thing.
It was a thing that we had to avoid at the time. But since then, we've just been like hanging out, looking at each other's dumb faces.
Which is now, tens of listeners, why I laugh so much.
Exactly. So it's a bit of a bummer, but we will continue. The CIC will indeed continue.
Probably will sound a little more tinny.
Maybe.
Possibly. I hear technology has improved drastically.
It's certainly improved since the 2020 days.
Right. So, keep your anticipations low, but have high expectations. I don't know.
Something like that. Well, should we get into the mailbag here?
Yes, before the sentimentality drowns us all.
Indeed. So today's mailbag just has one letter in it, and once again from our good man C, out there in the field reporting on pronunciation and general pedantry. He writes in response, actually, to our review of his requested movie, Who Dares Wins. He writes, I'm sorry. So very, very sorry. This film, which was once a source guilty pleasure, is now a source of shame. If Hannah Waddingham is free, I can provide a handbell. I can only applaud your wow, that's a word. Indefatigability. Sure.
You got it. Move on.
For having got through this film, which has lived in my brain since my pubescent A-team addled adolescence. If it makes you feel any better, listening to your firm but fair review did terrible things to my ribs. Well, that's a good thing to know.
Indeed.
Having said that, I still love the idea of a version of For Your Eyes Only starring Collins. You, my friend, and you alone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you are an army of one in that one, sir.
Yeah. He then continues by saying a couple of points. The scene where Mr. Malik arrives in the UK, supposed to be at passport control at a hoverport, hence the shot of the hovercraft coming ashore. Presumably he has traveled from mainland Europe aboard said hovercraft.
And see, that explains why I didn't recognize it. We don't have hovercrafty thingies here.
No.
Unless, well, they do
Nobody
in the military
travels
and the Everglades.
Yeah.
But, nobody's coming in on their car on, Bubba's little airboat while they're driving over gators.
That's right, in Louisiana.
Yeah, so that ain't going to happen out here.
He then continues saying the Rosa Klebb lady who was rocking the death spray and the LBD was played by the great Ingrid Pitt. You may remember her from such movies as Countess Dracula, The Vampire Lovers, and The House That Dripped Blood.
Oh, yeah.
She was also in slightly less schlocky stuff like The Wicker Man, Where Eagles Dare, which I did remember her from that, Smiley's People, and Octopussy.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember The Wicker Man, however.
And then he also writes, I agree about the Porsche 928. It is the most beautiful Porsche ever.
Oh, yes.
I had a poster of one in my bedroom
So
wall.
did I.
I would point out that Skellern wears a Porsche design chronograph that's also pretty sweet. The same watch worn by one Mr. Pete Maverick Mitchell.
And who is this Pete Mitchell he speaks of?
I don't know. I think he's kind of short. He's pretty much a robot. He's basically a cyborg who is now part of the IMF.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thanks for a wonderfully entertaining podcast. It was released the same day I received my tax bill, and boy, did I need a laugh. Yours, C. Well, thank you, C.
Yes, thank you indeed, C.
Yes, this is in fact the stuff we live for. Please continue your great work. And if anybody else wants to get in touch with us and tell us whether we're right or wrong or insane about a movie review that we've done, please reach out to us. We have all kinds of ways to get in touch. On email at cicdeaddrop@gmail.com. On Instagram at Central Intelligence Cinema, separated by underscores. And there's a whole slew of other socials that we're on. Blue Sky, X, occasionally. But you can find the links to all of those at the bottom of the show description of every episode that we put out. But should we get into some intel, buddy?
Yeah, let's do the intel.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Looking for a news story?
Impress me.
Transmitting CIC Intel dossier.
They'll print anything these days.
Okay, intel. Well, this isn't really intel, but I did feel like it was worth a pause. Just sort of remembering that on April 2nd, we lost acting legend Val Kilmer, who, before I get started on all the stuff I wrote in my notes, I'm thinking about like when I was a kid and Top Gun came out, like Val Kilmer was the coolest man alive.
Oh, no doubt.
The coolest man alive. He could do no wrong. Like he was like, I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, that's who I want to be.
You didn't want to be Tom Cruise.
You don't want to be Tom. You want to be Iceman.
That's right.
You want to be Iceman or the guy from Real Genius or even the goofy guy from Top Secret.
Right.
Because he was cool in every single one of them. Obviously, he was known for a million great films, but yeah, Top Gun, Tombstone, Top Secret, The Saint, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
My personal fave.
Yeah, Heat. Real Genius, and he played The Doors.
And he even played Batman once.
Exactly. He was even Batman.
Once.
Oh, well, yeah. But yeah, all of those movies would have been a hollow shell of what they were if he hadn't been in them. So
absolutely.
So yeah, we salute you, Mr. Kilmer, and Yeah, but thankfully we have a lot of movies to remember you by.
And a few that we're probably going to end up roasting on this show at some point.
Yeah.
Because as much as we rever your acting, no one is safe from the judgment of the CIC.
Indeed. All right, so real intel. We've got some actual Bond intel this time around. Actual stuff. Granted, we've been gone for a little bit, but some things have happened ever since the acquisition, the full control taken over by Amazon and MGM. They have found their Bond stewards, well, at least for the first film, minus the Broccolis. It is Amy Pascal and David Heyman. In the official announcement, Amazon MGM highlighted the track record of both producers' franchise filmmaking, Pascal being responsible for the Spider-Man franchise, while Heyman is known for his work on both Harry Potter and the Paddington movies. One particular thing I took note of was that Pascal was famously quoted in the Sony leaks that happened back in whenever Spectre came out, those Sony leaks that came out. She was quoted as being vehemently against the Brofeld debacle that happened in Spectre. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of her. I mean, granted, she's had some bungles in her track record as well. You know, that Ghostbusters she did was not maybe the best Ghostbusters movie that ever came out, but I'm real excited about David Heyman as well, though. As much as Harry Potter was great, but like, I actually really like the Paddington movies.
Yeah, I've heard I have not watched any.
Yeah.
But I've heard they're pretty amazing.
They are. They're really quite good.
And honestly, I do think the world is ready for a Peruvian bear Bond.
That's right.
So I can definitely see this happening.
Exactly. So I think these are good choices. These are great choices to take the helm, and obviously they're only giving them the first movie, but it's probably sort of a probationary.
Sure. If it knocks it out of the park, they're going to stick around on it until the magic goes away. And like anything else in Hollywood, even Jeff Bezos' Hollywood, they'll get enough rope to hang themselves with, and when they're done, they'll dangle. It's just how it goes.
Exactly. And sort of adjacently to all that news, granted, this is largely just scuttlebutt, but there was a small rumor going around that Alfonso Cuarón, the director, allegedly had talks with Amazon about being the director for the new Bond series. Cuarón, if you don't know, is known for Gravity and Children of Men and a bunch of other really good movies, actually. And he is a solid choice, but everything has gone silent since that one story hit.
Well, sure.
And it seemed to actually it sounded almost like the rumor was coming from him and nobody else.
That was the article I saw where he sort of indicated that might be the case.
Right.
However, in the interest of fair and unbiased reporting,
yes.
3 days later, I saw another article from the exact same source saying that Christopher Nolan is still in the running.
Right.
So is it fair, I think, to say that everyone's being considered? Anybody who has an interest is probably giving Amazon pitches right now.
Right.
So to say that one person is preferred over the other, I think is a bit premature.
Absolutely.
Because if Alfonso Cuarón comes into your office pitching Bond, nobody's going to go, "That's stupid and sucks,"
right? Because
of who he is.
Exactly.
They're going to consider it. Then they're going to close the door and go, "That was stupid and fucking sucks." But they're not going to say it to his face.
Exactly.
So anybody could be this potential.
Right.
Would I be excited to see an Alfonso Cuarón Bond? Yes.
It'd be fantastic.
Because we'd probably get Clive Owen, which would be fantastic. But am I more excited at the idea of a Christopher Nolan version? Hell yes.
Yeah.
And not to put too fine a point on it, Steven Spielberg has wanted to make a James Bond movie for 50 years almost.
I mean,
and he's still alive.
And he's still making movies.
He's still making movies. And as far as I know, isn't engaged in anything right now.
He also seems to be a pretty good director still.
Well, he's made a couple of good films.
Yeah, just a couple. A couple indies.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's ready.
Films.
I think he is actually ready to get into mainstream at this point. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
His stuff is like historical nature documentaries. He's got like some speculative science fiction kind of stuff. A lot of archaeology for some reason.
He loves archaeology.
The archaeology thing is really kind of interesting because it doesn't really translate into most of his other films.
But those really hit, though.
They really did. The
archaeology films were probably some of his best that he's ever made.
Super accurate. Very technically oriented. Made by top men, as I understand.
Yes, that was the rumor. Top men. Moving on. we've got some good news for our UK 10s. Universal is set to open a theme park in Bedfordshire. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, Bedfordshire in 2031, which will include a James Bond stunt show. What do you think of that? I'll be curious to see what that is.
I guess it depends on the scale and the scope.
Yeah, because otherwise, is it just like going to be like a trapeze type? You know what I mean? Like a circusy.
When I was a kid, back when I was a boy, I used to go to Universal Studios quite a bit because I lived in Southern California, and that's just the thing you did.
Right.
And they had a stunt show. It was a Wild West stunt show, and it was guys falling into bags off of a 2-story building after getting shot, and people with whips and things. Stuff you see in cowboy movies, and I think they changed that to a Miami Vice stunt show in the 80s, and they built a lagoon, and there was a boat, right? But there's an Indiana Jones stunt show in Florida at Disney World.
Okay.
And they have a full mock-up of the plane from the first movie that there's a fight scene in. So there's scale, right? So if it's like a James Bond Western fall into a bag thing, probably not great.
Yeah.
If it's a full-on animatronically animated James Bond in a car with machine guns spinning around and stuff, that might be something. Yeah. If you think about the stunt bar that has been raised since the Daniel Craig movies, there's got to be parkour in this thing.
Absolutely.
There's got to be all of the stuff. So it's got to be.
If you think about the high wire act in Casino Royale.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like you got to have a Cirque du Soleil style stunt show.
Yeah.
To really make this worth watching.
Yeah.
However, there's never been one before. So there's literally no bar you have to hit. Anything's better than what previously existed.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to wait a little while anyway. I mean, 2031 is a ways.
Yeah, and to be fair, the new satellite undisclosed location is not going to be in the UK.
No, it isn't.
Could be a minute before anybody from this particular podcast gets over there.
Exactly. One last silly thing. This isn't really intel at all. I just had to bring it up because your boy over here likes to occasionally visit the old 007 store. Just of riches, just to have a good laugh most of the time, just to kind of take a look at what the latest offerings are. And I will say, the latest offerings, they suggest a shift, a tide.
A tonal shift,
a tonal shift, if you would. And I wonder if that is the influence now of Amazon MGM, because my goodness, I saw a $15 pair of sunglasses, which were not just styly sunglasses, they were gadget sunglasses, issued on the box from Q Branch, no less, that had little mirrors on the inside of the spectacles so you could see behind you if you looked in your periph. And that is, while it is incredibly goofy, that is the shit that I really want to see on that store.
It's accessible, right?
Exactly. Like, if that had come out 2 years ago, I would have bought it already. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. In addition, there was a pen on there that didn't cost $1,000. It was like a $20 pen that had the little quote from Skyfall where he's like, "Were you expecting an exploding pen? Not exactly Christmas, is it?" Or something like that. It's written on the pen, but it's like $15. Then they had paper clips that are in the shape of 007, the 007 logo.
Really?
Yes.
Fantastic.
For a mere $14.
So they're really tchotchkeying it up, as it were.
Honestly, I'm okay with the tchotchkeying it up.
That's fine.
Bring it on. Bring it on. This is the stuff that I've been missing for the past 5 years.
This is something that I've never really understood about this website. And if it is the official website of James Bond,
yes,
why aren't they trying to generate income? It maybe defines the whole broccoli era of these films. Everything had to be so precious that you couldn't possibly throw in some things that real fans could actually access.
Right.
Because it's beneath.
Yeah.
Right?
Way too precious.
Right.
Way too precious with it.
To be fair, nobody was getting pissed off enough they stopped to go see movies because they couldn't afford a $1,000 pen.
I mean,
But why put a merchandise store in the first place if you're not going to actually sell merchandise?
Right. And I hate to say it, but Cubby was all about the stuff that's coming out right now. Cubby was all about putting out stuff that kids and people and the fans could actually access to generate more fandom. It almost feels a little too little too late, but hopefully this type of stuff will continue when there's actually a movie to promote.
Right.
And then more people are actually paying attention to the store. Because right now, I bet nobody's going to that store anyway.
Because nobody's going to go there to look for casual Bond stuff.
Not right now. Not until there's a movie. Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, they all might go and get some $15 ZZ Top song glasses, but otherwise,
right.
There's no impetus to go back there other than to go, if I was a billionaire, I would probably still not pay $1,000 for that pen.
Right, or $5,000 for a backgammon set.
Sure, that you don't even know how to play. I mean, come on.
So now we've got some Mission Impossible intel, Jason.
Well, I'm a fan of that stuff.
Yes, and we are getting very, very close to Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
The final reckoning.
Coming out on May 23rd. But we got the final trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which I thought was
pretty great.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
And not to toot my own horn as an editor, but that was one of the best edited trailers I have seen in a very long time.
It was super well done. It told you everything without telling you anything.
Exactly.
And it looks like my takeaway on this one, we get some CGI baby crews in there, which I'm pretty excited about.
I mean, we got some interesting shots in there. And if you're one of those people who wants to go in even colder than me to the film, then maybe skip the next 30 seconds, but I don't think it doesn't matter. Anyway, all I'm going to say is there's a shot in there of a hand with blood dripping down it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Ilsa. It's got to be Ilsa.
Was it a female hand?
Yeah.
I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah. I think we're going to get...
Was it a delicate female hand or a somewhat masculine female hand? Because Haley's hands, while very feminine, are also kind of big hands. And so
right.
I know that Rebecca's are a little more dainty.
Well, I didn't pay that much attention
but he will be when we're done, folks.
That's right. I will go back and look a little closer because, man, I'm really hoping for one last little Ilsa Faust entry.
Well,
and we're getting some interesting retcon almost type things in this trailer. There's a moment in there where they show the explosion at the Kremlin during Ghost Protocol, and Kittredge is talking about how the explosion was meant to kill Ethan, which is quite the retcon moment.
Is it, though?
Well, it's not technically a retcon because you haven't found out about it, and it doesn't change anything about the other storylines. It doesn't. I guess technically it's not a retcon.
I mean, you could certainly work it into the existing storyline from the movie.
Yeah.
But I have a theory on what is all these weird-looking knife-droppy things and whatever. Because there's a scene where at first I thought they were going to make Iron Ethan because he goes into this thing and he gets a mask on his face. I'm like,
oh yeah,
are they making Iron Man Ethan?
Well, that's the coffin that what's his name gets into in Dead Reckoning.
Sure,
yeah, on the train.
He gets into the thing, and it straps him in, and then no armor appears, so I was immediately disappointed. But then the thing comes over on his face, and you get the whole
the eye thing.
This machine, I think, in some capacity, makes Ethan relive all of his things that have happened since the first movie in a way that makes him fail all the time. So that when he comes out, he has some sort of greater knowledge of something.
Okay.
I'm totally spitballing here, but because of the things that I'm seeing and because of the things that didn't really follow the previous films, I'm like, what if this is showing him how every one of his missions had failed and what the consequences would have been had he not been successful?
Okay.
For whatever reason. Maybe it's, what's the stupid AI bad guy in this thing?
Oh, the Entity.
The Entity. Yeah. That old chestnut. Maybe he somehow plugs into this thing.
Well, that's sort of the vibe that I got from it.
And it shows him like, here's a world without Ethan Hunt, right? Or here's a world where Ethan Hunt is just a normal guy and not really, 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 really good at his job. For whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the only other thing that I got out of that was, A, still not enough Haley Atwell in this trailer, although she was kicking ass where she was at.
Yes.
And 2, Angela Bassett is the president of the United States. That's literally the only 2 other things I got out of this trailer.
I did like the fight stuff that they showed with Palm Clementieff.
Yeah.
That stuff looked great.
Yeah.
I was really excited about that. I was wondering whether the moment where he straps into the entity coffin or whatever. I was wondering if that was one of those moments. If you recall back, this is going to be a super nerdy thing that I'm going to say right now, but that's what this podcast is about. If you recall back in Ghost Protocol, when Ethan decides to give the bad guy, I forget his name, the actual nuclear codes, because it's the only way to forward the thing. I wonder if that's a similar moment where he's essentially giving up all of his knowledge from all of these missions to the entity. He's basically feeding the AI engine with everything, all of his experience within the IMF as means of a barter, of a trade.
Okay.
In some form or fashion. I was kind of spitballing that thing.
I could see that. Almost like, because you're so successful at what you do, I want to know how you do it in order to make the world a better place.
Right.
Right? Kind of thing. Okay.
So that was kind of my take on it, but I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, all I know is they improved on making all of the movies cohesive as one long story far better than a certain Bond movie attempted to do. That's just me.
In some people's opinion.
Also, just this past week, it was announced that the Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning will be the longest film in the series, albeit by 6 minutes. Surpassing Dead Reckoning, it clocks in at 2 hours and 49 minutes. Plenty of time for an Ilsa Faust return and plenty of Haley Atwell for Jason.
Yay.
Another long one. It'd be nice for remember intermissions? Those are great.
I do. I wish that they would bring them back.
They really need to bring them back.
Everybody needs to go pee halfway through a movie.
I mean, I just need a rest after watching an hour and a half of Ethan Hunt running around, jumping and climbing trees.
Honestly,
breaking his ankle. And
7 was super long, too, and I didn't feel like it at all.
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, they're editing and cutting these movies so well in most cases. Like Avengers Endgame, what? It's done?
Yeah.
Right? Infinity War, I could have used an intermission, but I miss those things, right?
Yeah.
I just went and saw The Brutalist not too long ago. Which,
by
the way,
that does have an
fabulous
intermission,
movie, and they had an intermission, which was great. I took advantage of it, got up, took a whiz, came back. It's not like the olden days when you could lose your seat by not sitting in your seat.
They're all assigned seats for the most part.
Yeah, and so as Hollywood seems to be retracting away from the big spectacles again, but it moves like an amoeba. It expands and it contracts. Mm-hmm. Bring it back, man.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Bring back intermissions.
Yeah, just, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
You get a little musical overture going on while you're waiting.
Yeah, maybe a little
right back into
maybe a little
again.
bossa nova, like a bossa nova themed. Could you imagine a bossa nova Mission Impossible theme song? You know what? It probably exists. If one of the 10s.
Yep, I'm sure it does.
Yep. One last kind of cool bit of Mission Impossible intel. There is a new exhibit now called Mission Impossible Story and Spectacle, which is at the Museum of Moving Image in New York City. This thing looks really cool. There was some video that emerged on Instagram just a couple weeks ago about it that shows like some of the masks they use, some of the prosthetics, some of the vehicles. There was one of the motorcycles that Tom Cruise, rode and what have you. But yeah, it's basically sections of the exhibition will be devoted to each film in the series with a focus on that film's key stunt or action sequence, along with unique behind-the-scenes content that offers insight on how the stunts were prepared for and filmed, complemented by related production artifacts. The exhibit runs until December 14th of this year. So,
what I'm hoping is that they have those automated cocking fists that Henry Cavill used.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I would love to see how the technology was used to accomplish the cocking motion.
I got to feel like that's like it started at Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I feel like that was like the impetus for it.
Yeah.
But they couldn't go around very well pushing a button on his back.
Right.
So they had to probably do something that had wires or something like that. I don't know. I am not a technical guy.
I hope that the exhibit kind of robes the country. And
it would be great.
Yeah, if we could all get a chance,
A lot of those do, though. I mean, Lucas had that one with all of his stuff running around from Star Wars for like ever.
Yeah, and Bond in Motion has moved about here and there. So,
and you might have a slightly better chance of seeing it in your new undisclosed location.
Indeed. So that's pretty much it for mission intel.
Okay.
We've got some spy TV intel, some kind of cool stuff, actually. First of all, the BBC has unveiled plans for a Cold War spy drama called Honey, which is written by Emma Moran, who is the creator of the show Extraordinary, as well as Killing Eve's producer Sid Gentle. Speaking of which, this little series has been revealed to be a prequel to the show Killing Eve. So if you're a fan of that, it focuses on the character Carolyn Martins, who in that show was the head of MI6's Russia desk, which is insanely cool because she was maybe my favorite character in the whole series.
Oh, I agree.
And so no word yet whether we'll get any reprisal from Fiona Shaw to maybe be like doing flashbacks like, I remember when whatever. Because this is an origin story.
A la young Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford sitting in the log cabin with a grizzly beard playing a saxophone.
Exactly.
That would be fantastic.
Obviously, yeah. There will probably be a younger actress to portray her for the majority of it.
But who do you get to play Fiona Shaw?
Boy, that's
because she's got to be tall.
She's got to be tall.
She's got to have, shall we say, unusual bone structure in her face.
Yes. And I will say too, Fiona Shaw, even for her age in the original Killing Eve, she's kind of a sexy woman. She's got some. There's a sexy vibe coming off of that. Her.
And that's what I'm saying. You got to find hard somebody. How do you when you have an actor who is so good at what they do, but also has such presence when they do it. It's so hard to find a match for that person in varying age guises.
Definitely. I wholeheartedly agree. And this show, Honey, has quite the saucy synopsis.
I like saucy.
Yeah. It reads, Marta, 24, is a deep cover agent for MI6. Surrounded by enemies and constantly under threat of her cover being blown, she tries her hardest to avoid detection by Friedrich Baumann, the new head of counter-espionage for the Stasi. Finding herself caught between Friedrich and the reckless, arrogant, and incredibly attractive CIA operative Aaron Needland.
Aaron.
She is blindsided by desire in this Cold War menage a trois.
Well, hello.
Fancy
French word.
Yes.
Saucy.
I get that right, see? The risk of being garroted or incarcerated is nothing compared to the horrifying ordeal of falling in love.
Truer words were never spoken.
Indeed.
Than that last sentence.
No release date yet, but man, that is something I would watch. 100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, you get pretty much the best character or side supporting character from Killing Eve as the main character. Cold War set.
Right?
I mean, and it's sexy saucy.
I mean,
I'm into it.
It's sort of like that Pennyworth show that they had out for a little while.
Yes.
Which made Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's butler, for those of you who are not nerds.
Super cool.
Super cool spy dude.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea of taking this sort of side character who's snarky and sort of like the elder statesman type character,
yes,
and showing them just being all saucy and badass, it seems like it's never going to be a bad proposition.
Absolutely.
Unless you're going James Bond Jr., then definitely a bad proposition.
Abandon ship.
Bad. Warning, danger, Will Robinson, danger.
And finally, we just got a teaser trailer for Slow Horses Season 5, with it set to debut this summer. So that's exciting for me, at least. I mean, I know you're still catching up on that one, but I'm super excited now because that show has just gotten better with every season. Like season 1, they were still finding their feet just a little bit, but still good. But like, man, by the time you got to season 3 was so good. It was so good. So super excited for that. Also, at around the same time, it was revealed that season 6 is currently filming. So we're getting season 6 on top of it.
Outstanding. You think that'll be the last season, though?
Possibly. I mean, we'll see. I mean, as long as...
because like Gary Oldman saying, I'm done after I'm done doing this show.
Well, he said that, but he keeps having a really good time doing the show and playing this absolutely obnoxious but really smart spy.
Sure.
Like he's having such a ball doing it that he just keeps doing it.
Well, I mean, I'm not in any hurry to see him go.
Yeah.
To be fair, the last thing I saw him doing was sitting talking to Stephen Colbert and people were farting during some of his most famous scenes, and he was dying so much.
I remember seeing that clip. That was so good.
I'm looking at Gary Oldman going, this dude is an actual human being.
Yes.
He's not some supernatural alien from another planet sent to entertain all of us.
That's right.
He laughs at fart jokes like the rest of us. Fantastic.
Indeed. And that is everything in the dossier for now.
For now.
For now.
For now.
You know, I will say, just on a side note, you know, we will return. The CIC will indeed return with more missions, more martinis, and more mayhem. But man, I'm so fucking sick of moving. No more moving. Ixnay on the...
So here's the problem.
The M word that I don't ever want to include with the CIC is moving ever again. During the time that we have been doing this podcast, I have moved how many times? 3? 3 now?
Yes.
3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate it.
So
I hate it.
hold on a second. I need to make a note here. Scratching out, moving, adding mayhem. Back. Okay. Notes sorely made. So just so the tens know, in this moment of transition
and upheaval,
there may be some scant, if potentially even non-existent. Not that you guys aren't used to us for disappearing for months at a time.
I'm gonna try though. I'm doggone it. You know, I'm gonna try.
You know, the intent is always there, but don't give up on us.
Yes, please don't give up.
Because we're not giving up on you.
That's right. We would never do that.
No. But fear not. Like James Bond, after being rocketed to his seemingly fateful end.
That's right.
CIC will return.
The CIC will indeed return.
Till one of us hits the Powerball.
That's
Ain't
right.
Nobody giving up on nobody.
Indeed. Well, I think that's a bit it for now, won't you say?
Yeah, I think we've covered all we can cover.
All right. Well, with that, I am Ben.
And I'm Jason.
And the CIC will return with more missions, more martinis,
and far less moving.